Hey, welcome everyone to the Business Builder. Thank you for joining us today. I think some people might still trickle in a bit late. The registration always catches people by surprise, but thank you for being here and being on time. I really appreciate it. Normally, this is when I introduce the speaker, but this month I happen to be the speaker. So I am just going to go straight into the presentation. If you aren't used to Zoom and you're seeing me tiny on your screen, I'm going to use my feed to present. So you can fix that by just moving your cursor over my face, right-clicking, and looking for the option to pin. If you click on that pin, you'll see I will take up your full screen, and then you'll be able to see the presentation properly. So let's go there. Today, we are talking about working less and earning more. Before I get into the presentation, just a quick warning that I cannot multitask. So unless I have specifically asked you to pop something in the chat, I'm probably not going to be looking at the chat until the end of the talk. You are very welcome to put questions in there. Just please put a big capital Q in front of the questions so that if I go back over the chat later, I know what are questions and what I need to respond to. If you are new to the Business Builder, welcome. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Tamron. I am the founder and the CEO of the Farside Group. The group currently consists of Farside Accounting, Farside Solutions, Farside Foundations, and this Business Builder. We are talking about working less and earning more, and I rather specifically chose a flippant title because it was, of course, designed to draw interest. But I want to assure you that there is nothing flippant about the content we are looking at today. Building a business is hard. It is exhausting and draining and lonely. And I know this from building up these four, that we think it's going to be easier than it is, and it is very, very easy to find yourself overwhelmed, overworked, and grossly underpaid. I did, and today I want to share with you how we end up in that position and what we can do to get out of it. So these are things I actually did. It's not theory. It's not empty inspiration. These are practical steps that you can implement in your business to help you break out of that cycle of overwhelm and build a business that supports you. To explain how I am in a position to teach you these things, I need to tell you my story. So I started Farside Accounting back in 2007. That is now 18 years ago. I can't believe it. And I thought that being good at accounting would make me good at running an accounting company. But I was wrong, because business ownership represents its own specific role. It requires its own unique skill set. So being good at accounting or any other service or profession or skill out there does not prepare you in any way for being a business owner. You see, when I worked as a bookkeeper for someone else, if I wanted to achieve success in my career, all I had to do was work hard and be good at my job. I had a good boss. In fact, she was a great boss. And because of that, she took care of me. So I was rewarded for hard work and I felt appreciated and I became better and better at what I do. But the reason that you are successful in your career due to hard work is because your role exists within the framework of an already established business. So that business already has the departments it needs, the team it needs, and the systems that it needs to function. You just slotted into your role, you supported others, they supported you, and it all worked towards achieving success because it ran on existing infrastructure. But when you step out of employment and you start your own business, you now have to create that business structure for yourself. So I couldn't just do accounting in my accounting business. I also had to create the website and do the marketing and take the sales calls and follow up with prospects. And I had to create quotes and get them to accept terms and conditions. I had to come up with terms and conditions. I had to do service delivery and quality control and customer care and collect payments and do all the business admin. And well, you get the idea. When you open your own business, you are the entire business, and you have to be the entire business. I couldn't just be the accountant. You can't just be whatever service you provide. If I only did bookkeeping for my clients, well, I wouldn't have clients because I wasn't doing the sales. And I wouldn't keep those clients if I didn't look after them. And I wouldn't have managed the workload if I didn't have admin and process systems. So I had to create those as well. So being a business owner is its own role with lots and lots of responsibilities and duties that are in no way connected with what you are actually good at. And that's the first important concept that I want to draw your attention to today. Being a business owner is a full-time role in itself. I was lucky that I was good at accounting because that is normally one of the functions that business owners really hate and try and get rid of. But I was still sitting in a position where I was filling hundreds of roles within a business, and most of them were ones I didn't like doing or I wasn't good at doing. And I know that many of you have faced the same thing. You opened your business in your chosen field and then discovered that actually very little of your working day is spent on what you are good at. Instead, you spend 3/4 of the day running your business, and then you have to work overtime to supply your service. And that's what I did. I worked longer and longer and longer hours because I believed that if I could just grow my customer base to a big enough size, then I would have enough money to hire all the staff I need and all the outsourced suppliers so I could stop doing all of these little roles and I could just get back to doing accounting. So I took on more and more clients. I worked harder and harder and longer and longer. Eventually, I was working, no lie, 12 to 14-hour days, 7 days a week. I had given up hobbies. I had lost contact with friends. I had thoroughly and properly annoyed my spouse and family. And I had completely and totally lost sight of myself. And I still kept pushing forward, trying to bring in more clients, trying to hire more staff. Eventually, I burnt out so badly that my brain chemistry was out of whack, my hormones were out of whack, and my immune system just stopped working. So at that point in time, my poor, abused body just simply refused to continue working so hard, which is why the second important concept I want you to internalize is that the health of your business is directly proportional to and intrinsically linked to your personal health. If your business relies on you working 14 hours, 7 days a week, and you collapse, guess what collapses with you? So there I went, and all my hopes and dreams went with me. And to be honest, by this stage, I hadn't just lost my personal life. I had also lost my energy and my passion. I no longer loved this business and I actually was tired of it. I wanted to get rid of it. So I actually approached a business broker and I began the process of getting the business valued for sale. So at this point in time, my business was 10 years old. And it turned out that after 10 years of hard work and sacrificing everything else in my life, including myself, this 10-year-old business was worth nothing. Because a business with low profits that is completely reliant on the business owner making ridiculous work hours is not worth anything. No one wants to buy that business. No one wants to be that person working 14 hours a day. So the third important concept for you today is that if you can't go on holiday, if you can't step back and your business can't continue running without you, then you will never be able to sell your business. Your business should be able to continue on providing services and making money, whether you are personally present or not. So, once I'd finished crying, pulled myself off the floor, and put my big girl pants back on, I realized I only had one way forward. I had to change. Obviously, what I was doing wasn't working. So I needed to find out why it wasn't working, and then I needed to find a way to make it work. Because here is the good news for you, and important concept number 4. Business ownership isn't just its own skill set, it is one that we can learn. So I set about learning how to be a business owner, and I rebuilt Farside. So it's 8 years on now, and I actually love what I do again. I love my business, and I promise you that you can as well. Now, obviously, I cannot teach you my entire business rebuild in 1 hour, but there on the screen are 4 concepts that I want you to get your head around. And in addition to these 4 concepts, I also want to share 4 areas of focus with you, because when you make these things your priority, you are going to build a better business. And lastly, we're going to look at 4 steps, 4 practical steps that you can implement to start building that better business. So let's have a look at the 4 things I want you to pay close attention to in your business. Now, the first one is one of your accounting numbers. Accounting is one of those things. Now, I'm an accountant, so I'm obviously quite excited about bookkeeping and accounting. I think it's a valuable part of your business, and I love it. Of course I would. I do it. But the most common reason that all other business owners keep financial records is because they have to. For the tax man, you have to submit tax returns and you want to pay as little tax as possible, so you do your accounting. Now, that is the most common reason people do their accounts, but it's not actually the most important reason, not by far. The most important reason to keep accounting records is so that you can use them. Your accounting records tell you which of your products and services are the most successful. They tell you which of your departments are the most efficient. They tell you if sales are increasing or decreasing. They tell you how much you are spending and what you are spending it on. And all of this information can be used to make good decisions and build a better business. So it's not actually one of the steps I'm sharing today, but I would encourage you, as part of building a better business, to pay attention to your accounting and not have it as something you only do for the purposes of paying tax. It is very important to track all the numbers in your business. If you want to learn more actually about which numbers will make a big impact on your business, I actually have an old business builder webinar. It's available on YouTube channel. I'm going to pop the link in the chat for you. There you go. It's all about tracking the right things from your accounting numbers. But today, we are focused specifically on what you need to track in order to earn more money without working harder. And there's one particular accounting number that makes a difference here. Now, most business owners who are desperately trying to grow and are getting more and more overworked and overwhelmed are paying attention to the wrong number. Most business owners are entirely focused on their sales. So all of their time, their energy, and a large portion of their money is going into getting more customers and increasing sales. Now, the problem is that your sales on their own actually give you no information about the health of your business. All an increasing sales number tells you is that you're good at selling things. They don't tell you if you've actually been paid. They don't tell you if your clients are happy and if they want to buy from you again. They don't tell you how much it cost you to make that sale. And they don't tell you if that sale has actually made enough to cover your running expenses. So you cannot focus on sales alone and consider increasing sales a sign of this success. You can have exponentially increasing sales, but if your customers don't pay you or your costs increase with them, you don't actually have a viable business. So what else should you be tracking alongside those sales? Now, please note I said what else, because you do want increasing sales in your business. If you don't have sales, you don't have a business. And if they're not going up, you just have an expensive hobby. So you do want to track sales and you do want to see them going up, but it's not the important number. The important number to track is your profit. Profit is the amount you get to keep. It is the amount that you as the business owner get to take home after the tax is paid. So this is the number that you want to see increasing. It's wonderful to have sales go up, but sales are not half as important to you as a business owner as your profit is. You opened this business so that you could make money, not the business. The business exists so that you can take money home. You may have a lot of other values and causes linked to your purpose, to your business, and your purpose can be deeper and more important than money. But in order for you to survive in this world, this business needs to pay you money so you can pay your bills. And your business sales is not making you any money. Your business sales figure is making the business money. Then the business still needs to spend that money. Some of the spending is related to the sale itself because it's going to cost you something to provide that service or product. And then some of the spending your business does is related to staying in business. So either way, your business has to spend, and it's going to spend that money from your sales. And you only get what is left over, which means profit is more important to you personally than the business sales are. Even, by the way, if you have a non-profit business that is entirely cause-driven, because then your profit helps you fund the next year. So profit is the number to focus on, and the good news is, and that's what we'll look at a bit later, is that there are ways to increase profit without actually increasing the sale. You can keep your sales figures the same and make more money for yourself. But it's not the only thing we're tracking today. There's a second thing that I want you to have as an area of focus in your business. And that is process. You need processes that support your sales and your service delivery. It does not help to have massive sales and then to completely fail in delivering those sales, because then you're going to lose your customers and you're not going to have any repeat business or referrals. And you're probably also going to have to refund everyone. So after profit, The thing you should have your undivided attention is your processes. You need to be sure that you can deliver and that you will deliver well. This is as true for a one-man band as it is for a team. Processes are key service delivery and quality control. And effective processes are planned, documented, and shared and continuously reviewed. If you have no idea where to start with in terms of developing your processes, you can chat to me. We do have a systems development service. You can read more about it here on this link. But this is also something you will be able to Google and learn more about if you want to do so on your own. But please do pay attention to your processes. You will be amazed at the difference it makes in your business to systemize the way you do things. The third thing that you need to focus on in your business is your cash. Because although we want our accounting profit to keep going up, it is not the same thing as having cash in the bank. If your accounting is being done correctly, it is being done according to something called the accrual method. In simple English, all it means is that we record our income and expenses when they are incurred. In other words, the date on the document, not the date that they are paid. So if you invoice a customer today, you record that income today. But they might only have to pay you in 30 days' time. And the same applies with purchases. We could walk into Walton's tomorrow and buy paper, and we'll get a slip with tomorrow's date on it, and that's the date you're going to enter stationery into your business records. But Walton's might give you 7 days to pay. So you won't pay it tomorrow, you'll pay it in a week's time. So your bank balance will never correlate to your accounting profit. And that is why it is very, very dangerous to assume that money sitting in your bank account belongs to you, because it might not. You might need to pay taxes soon, you might need to pay staff, you might be waiting for money to come in. Never look at a bank balance and assume that that is your money. You don't actually know that it is. And of course, your sales and your accounting profit give you no indication of whether or not your clients have actually paid you. You might have had a sales month of a lifetime. You might have smashed your goals for the entire year in 1 month. But if those clients don't actually deposit the money into your bank, then those sales numbers are worthless. Without cash in the bank, your business dies. So you have to track your cash. Do you know that 80% of businesses fail before they hit their 5th year? And of those businesses that fail, the majority are due to running out of money. That is the number one reason small businesses fail. Either they ran out of funding or they did not manage the cash they had in the first place. So you have to track your cash. You need to know how much of the money sitting in your bank account is actually yours. And you need to know how much is still owed to you and how much you owe to other people. If you're only looking at your sales and your bank balance, then you do not have a true understanding of what is happening in your business, and you're going to be caught short at the end of the day. So that is the third area of focus in your business. Please give it your full attention. The fourth thing is the value of your business. All business owners are aware of the fact that they need to grow. We all want to grow. If focusing on growth was all we needed for success, then every single business owner would succeed, because we all know we need to do it. You do not need me to stand here and tell you that growth is essential to your business and to you getting your life back. You know it. But for success, We need sustainable growth. We need stable profit and healthy cash flow to keep that business sustainable. We also need scalable growth, which means we need processes that support the growth with a business structure. So these three things that I pointed out to you, profit, process, and cash, they create value in your business. Those are the three things that determine what your business is worth to another person. Now, you might not actually be interested in selling, and that's fine. But if your business is worth buying, it is also worth keeping. In other words, it makes it valuable for you, not only a fictional buyer. So conversely, if we make the value of the business our focus, in other words, if you pay attention to what your business is actually worth, and we focus on increasing that value, then we also create the sustainable growth we are looking for, and we make more money for less effort and less stress. So actually, this should be your number one area of focus as a business owner. The value of your business. Quick recap so far. I have given you 4 important concepts to internalize. Being a business owner is a full-time role in itself. The health of your business is directly proportional to your own health. And if you can't step away from the business, then your business is not worth anything. But you can learn to be a good business owner. It is a skill set that is easily learned. And while you are learning it, I suggest 4 areas of business that should hold your attention every single day. That is your profit, your processes, your cash, and the value of your business. So that's us so far. Now we'll get to what you actually came for, which is the 4 steps that you can implement in order to improve these 4 things. The simplest and fastest way for you to improve your profit without having to do any more work is to cut your toxic clients. So toxic clients are those that fill you with dread when their name appears in your email or on your phone. I could bet you're thinking of a few of them right now. These are the clients that beg you for a discount. Then they change the scope of the work multiple times so that it takes much longer than it should. Then they will complain that it took longer than it should, plus complain about everything you've done. And then they're probably going to refuse to pay you, or they're going to pay you late. That is a toxic client. It's the one you wish you didn't have. And I know that cutting clients is scary, and it sounds really counterintuitive for me to tell you to increase your profit by getting rid of clients. So if you're beginning to think you're attending a webinar led by a lunatic, please just give me 10 more minutes before you log off. Because it has been my first-hand experience that when you cut these dreaded clients out of your life, your income actually increases. Because one of the reasons you are clinging to these clients is because you're still focused on your sales figure. And you're scared of losing the income, the sales income that these clients represent. But these clients are not paying you. And you aren't actually receiving that income. And they are overworking you. So you're not getting any value from working with them. So for as long as they are part of your life, You don't have that time that you're giving to them to give to other projects. And the moment you remove them, you have time for better clients and your cash flow improves. And I know it sounds nuts and I know that it's scary, but I'm going to prove to you that I'm right. And because I'm an accountant, I'm going to prove it using numbers. And we're going to look at a job that you would sell for 10,000, but it takes you 5 hours to complete. This is, of course, fictional. I have no idea what you do for a living, but let's pretend that you have a 5-hour job that you would charge 10,000 for. So for those of you who have attended any of my profit or cash talks in the past, I'm sorry, you will have watched this bit before. So if you have, it's a good chance for you to go grab a fresh cup of coffee before we move on to the next three. But for those of you who have not heard me talk about toxic clients before, here we go. So for this 5-hour job, a nightmare client will ask you for a discount and turn this 10,000 into 8,000. They will then cause so much trouble for you that that 5-hour job will not take 5 hours. It will end up taking 20. And then they're going to pay you 30 days late. So you have money made 8,000 for 20 hours of work and 30 days of waiting. Whereas a good client is only going to take 5 hours for a 5-hour job, which means that in 20 hours, you can serve 4 clients. Those 4 clients will give you 5-star reviews and they're going to pay on time. So at the end of the project, you've made 40,000, that is 4 times 10,000, in the same amount of time without having to wait for payment. It is a no-brainer as to which of these scenarios is better for your business and for your own mental health. So I know it might feel wrong to cut clients, but you will always make more money by cutting a toxic client and serving a high quality one than you do by clinging to a client just because you're worried that you're going to lose income. And I know that doesn't make it any easier to do, but I promise you it will make a massive difference on both your profit and your life and mental well-being. So it is worth trying. The second simple way to increase profit is to increase your prices. I'd like to point out that so far I've given you 2 simple steps. And if you know anything about business building, if you've done it before, you will know that the word simple does not mean easy. These are simple steps. It is simple to cut a toxic client. It is simple to increase the price, but it is not easy. And there is a huge amount of fear related to increasing prices. But I have worked with service professionals for 18 years now, and I know that you are not charging enough for your service because it is very hard for professionals to recognize their value. I'm going to give you an accounting example. It is easy for me to pull a tax clearance certificate. It is easy for me to submit an annual return to the CIPC. And I really don't find it hard to produce a set of annual financial statements for your tax returns. I have been doing these things for 2 decades. Yes, giving away my age. 2 decades. And I can probably do them sick and half asleep. And because it's easy for me, I forget that it's not easy for my client. And if I do it on their behalf, that has massive benefits for them. Because if I do them correctly, there's no future blowback from taxman or investors. And I do them quickly because I know what I'm doing. So there's no stress about deadlines or penalties. And they don't have to do them, which means they have more hours in their life, more time for their business, and they can focus on the things that they are good at, and they can improve their own business. That makes these easy services exceptionally valuable to my clients. So I should charge my value. Not more than my value, but definitely not less. So I know that you are not charging what your service is worth to your client. It is a very common phenomenon in professional services and many other businesses to think that if something is easy, it is not worth charging for. But it is, because your client wouldn't be coming to you if they found it easy to do. So I know there is space for you to increase your prices, which still doesn't make it easy to do. We are always scared that if we increase our prices, we're going to lose customers. And you probably will. Well, that's comforting, Tamron, isn't it? Thanks for nothing. So no, I agree, losing customers is not a comforting thought. But I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter. The first reason it doesn't matter that you lose customers is that the ones you are most likely to lose are the toxic ones that we already identified in step number 1. So you already actually want those to go, because your good clients and the ones you love working with, those are the ones that love working with you. That's what makes the work so enjoyable. You know that they appreciate you and they appreciate what you do for them. And if they appreciate the value of what you are doing for them, they will be happy to pay for that value. So you very, very, very rarely lose a good customer by putting up your prices. At worst, a good customer will reach out to you and tell you that they can't afford the new price, and they ask you to accommodate them, and you can if you want to. The customers you just lose from a price increase are going to be your toxic ones. And you don't have to worry about them, because, as I showed you in the first step, you're already going to be making more money if you lose a toxic customer and replace them with a better one, because it creates space for these great clients. But let's ignore potential new clients for now and just focus on the difference that price alone will make to your business. Let's say that this here represents your current monthly sales, and you decide you're going to increase your prices by 20%. And in the process, you'll lose 3 of them. Do you see what just happened on that screen? You've lost 3 clients, but you're still earning more. 1,200 Rand, or whatever currency you charge in, more every month, without having to work any harder for that extra. And actually, thanks to those toxic clients leaving, you're earning 1,200 more, and you're working less hard because you're only serving 5 clients instead of 8. So yes, you could lose customers, and the chances are high that you will lose some customers. But the odds are exceptionally high that you will not only still earn the same or more, but that you will be working much, much less time than before. So that's 2 steps so far. And by cutting toxic clients and increasing prices, you are already earning more while working less. So the next thing you want to be doing is to start managing your cash flow. Because all the wonderful profit increases you saw in the last 2 steps will mean absolutely nothing to you and your business if you run out of cash. I have done a whole separate webinar on improving cash flow before. I'm going to put that in the chat for you here. Also an old business builder one. and I go through the 10 ways that cash flow can be improved and a couple of steps that you can implement. So if cash flow is something you need to learn more about, do go and watch that recording. But you need to be properly tracking your cash and controlling the way that it flows in your business. You want to improve your collection systems so that you're making sure that people actually pay you and pay you on time. You need to have savings accounts, so you are making provision for things like VAT and income tax and rainy days. You need to have forecasts that show you when money is coming in and when it is going out, and you need to know ahead of time when you're going to have dips in that cash flow so that you can make a plan. Because cash is the lifeblood of your business. You cannot leave your cash flow to chance. You need to be in control of it. I told you earlier, the number one reason businesses fail, it's 85% of businesses fail due to bad cash management. So please don't be one of them. You don't have to. It is not hard to learn how to manage your cash. That webinar link that I just put in the chat, it's going to give you great starting points for cash flow management. And it's absolutely free. It's available on YouTube, and the recording is there for you whenever you need it. You are also extremely welcome to come and get what we call a cash flow assessment. At Farside, it's a once-off product from us. It involves a rather long questionnaire, and a meeting, but we go through your operations and your business, and we give you a very comprehensive and detailed report on what is going wrong and right with your cash flow. And then we give you easily actionable steps you can take to fix it. And we make sure those steps are easy to understand as a non-accountant, which means that you can implement them without us if you want to. So if you would like more information about a cash flow assessment, I'm popping that in the chat as well. There's so many things in the chat now, you might want to save it before you leave. But please, you don't have to come to us for a cash flow assessment in order to start paying attention to what is happening with your cash. You can start doing so all on your own, and it is really, really vital for your business that you do so. The last and fourth thing that you can focus on in your business is taking back control of your time. Again, this is simple, but not easy. The best thing that I can recommend with regards to time management is to leverage the power of scheduling. Schedule every single part of your work. This is something that changed my life for me. I went from being busy all the time to being structured and productive. It makes a big difference. Schedule your services to your clients, your meetings with prospects, your business admin, even those small little admin things like checking email and responding to WhatsApp. Don't do it on the fly as the emails pop up on your screen. Schedule everything. It's actually been proven, and I was chatting to someone about it this morning, that multitasking is actually not productive at all. Us women who are so proud of the fact that we can multitask so well, we're not doing it right. Because even if you can do more than one thing at the same time, it is really honestly been scientifically proven that you are not doing those things well. So all you're doing is averaging across more than one area. Whereas focused effort on one thing till it's finished, and then moving on to the next thing and giving it focused effort until it is finished, that is more productive than any other way of working. If you have something like ADD or ADHD, leveraging scheduling is even more empowering for you, and it works better actually for the ADD brain. So I would recommend giving it a go. But another reason that I highly recommend scheduling is because it will force you to schedule time for two incredibly powerful things. The first is working on your business. In other words, defining and refining those processes that we spoke about earlier, making sure you are focused on and improving the 4 important areas that we mentioned today, and learning how to be a better business owner. You can schedule time for that and make sure that you actually do it. And the second thing that you need to schedule is looking after yourself. So remember, one of our 4 important concepts is that your business health is intrinsically linked to your health. It is therefore a vital business duty to take care of you. So schedule time on your calendar to relax and for self-care. If you implement steps 1 and 2 and you're cutting your toxic clients and you're increasing your prices, then you automatically are going to be reducing your working hours. Do not immediately use these freed up hours to go look after more clients. Don't bring in more sales immediately, not yet. First, get your processes right. Get yourself to full health. Get your passion back again. Make sure your business has got its structure in place. And then go looking for more great customers that you enjoy dealing with. If you have gone through this entire webinar with me and the thought of implementing any of it just makes you feel drained and exhausted, then you might be burning out. Burnout happens in 79% of all business owners and 91% of professionals. So the problem is that it's not often recognized for what it is. We think it's just normal stress, and so we keep pushing ourselves beyond a point of no return, which is what I did in my business. I thought I was just stressed, I was just tired, and I pushed until I collapsed. So if you have even a slight suspicion that you need more than a day off to feel better, then please grab a copy of my completely free book on beating burnout. I'm popping it in the chat for you as well. It's absolutely free, no cost at all, and it will give you 8 steps that you can implement in your life and in your business that will help you to overcome this feeling of exhaustion and burnout. It's not long and it's easy to read, and it helped me get over everything I was going through. If you're feeling stretched too thin, please give it a try. You're also very welcome to just come book a chat with me. I am always happy to chat to people about my experience with burnout and how I got out of it. So please, my calendar link is also in the chat now. Please do feel free to come and have a chat about that. But let's summarize today. I gave you 4 important concepts. So you, as the business owner, you cannot just focus on what you are good at. You have to be a business owner, which means you have to create a business structure. If you have that first and foremost in your mind, then that will help you to plan your schedule, help you to create the business that can run without you, because you and your business are currently linked. And if you fall down, the business falls with you. You should be building a business that isn't in that position, that does not need to rely on you. And in order to do all of that, you need to learn to be a proper business owner, which luckily is easy to do. There are a lot of resources for you all over the internet in different formats that will teach you how to be a business owner, not just a professional who is good at what they do. I gave you 4 areas of focus for your business, that if you focus on these 4 things, you will start building that business that doesn't need you, and you will be able to work fewer hours without having without losing your income. So you need to focus on profit above sales. Profit is more important, and there are ways to increase profit without increasing sales. You need to focus on process because the way your business runs is what determines your success, not how much money it's bringing in. You need to focus on cash flow because your cash and your profit are not the same thing, and you need both. And if you keep the value of your business as something in the forefront, if you are focused on improving the value of your business for you, then you are automatically going to end up improving the other three things and the rest of the business as well, because your value is your end result of setting things up correctly. And then the 4 steps that I gave you to help you start working less and earning more is to cut your toxic clients. You cut the clients that fill you with dread, that aren't paying you properly, and that you actually wish you'd never met. Just get rid of them and actively look for better clients. Increase your prices. This will help you cut the toxic clients, and it will also help you to earn more, earn what you are worth without you having to put in more effort. Take control of your cash flow. Make sure you are being paid on time and that you're making provision for the future outflows. And take control of your time. I know the last one seems like a weird one to throw into a webinar for work less, earn more, because your assumption would have been that I'm going to tell you how you could just end up with more time. But at the end of the day, the truth is that we all have the same amount of time. So we need to control where our time goes. And some of us have things in our lives that take preference. We've got responsibilities. We might not have the privilege, for example, of a domestic or childcare, and we have to be looking after things that are not our business, which makes it even more complicated for you to build a proper business and have a life. And the only way we can do all of this is by actively taking control of our time. Do not let the things in your life control your calendar. You control your schedule. I promise you it will make a big difference to your results at the end of the day. If you would like any more info about how we can help you to do this, please go browse my website or book a chat with me. I've shared a couple of the YouTube links. We have a YouTube channel that is available to you. But I would really love to help you overcome your exhaustion and your overwhelm. And I'd love to help you do that in far less time than it took me to fix mine. So if I can help you in any way, do let me know. Otherwise, that is my presentation done. So let's do Q&A. Do we have any questions? Sorry, I'm just going to scroll up. Otherwise, if you have questions you haven't put in the chat, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask. No questions in the chat. Are there any questions now that I am done? One at all?
Hi, Cameron. Yeah, no questions. I think you did a good job. Just want to say thanks. Very informative.
Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah. Thank you very much. Well,
cool, but
I know I didn't go into a huge amount of detail for every step, but the idea of today was to give you something to think about and to start building on and start implementing. If you start with any of those in the next couple of weeks and you need a bit of extra help or you're not sure of something, then you are welcome to reach out to me. You'll have my details in the chat box, but also you should get an email with this recording, so you'll be able to contact me through that as well. Otherwise, I'm going to close off today. If there are no more questions, thank you so much for attending. Do save the chat if you want all the resources. And otherwise, have a wonderful month. And I hope to see you all at the next Business Builder next month.